Whoa. Alrighty. Excellent. Oh my God. Yes, it is on. Good to go. Another storm rolling. Which way? Yeah. Oh. No more, no more Navy SEALs book for now. I need to chill on that shit. You know, had to use the facilities and come back. So I did. Ooh, A Storm Upon Ulster. That's the book I was guided to. We'll see. There it is. Look at that shit. How do I feel right now? Oh, that kind of sums it up. God damn it. You're like, it does? Yes. Totally how I feel, man. I'm just going to sit here for a second. All right. Let's see what I turn to. Okay. Cool. Ooh. Chapter 1, Maeve. Ooh, Queen Maeve. Book 1, The Bowl of Cooling. Well, here's the map, babies. Ooh, look at that. Look at those guys. So, man, the connection to the land and area used to be so much more hardcore. It actually, I think that's why I started to get bummed out. I'm like, damn, life could be so much more supreme rather than fucking throwaway society, right? And then what does that result in? It results in throwaway people. Right? It's true. And that's what I was saying. In the woodland with Robin, okay, because I like, you think about being there, how your personal relationships were more important than goddamn money. And that's my fucking point. When shit gets hard and people have to survive, the one thing, see, that I relate with is relating with Robin Hood. Is I get fucking pissed off about greedy, selfish people. That's when Robin fucks with you, is when you're being selfish. He'll be like, all right, you little fucker, you want to be greedy in the woodland, you don't get shit. And he will fucking pester you until you get it, because he loves you, but he'll fuck with you because you're being a bitch. And I'm totally like that. And I will hammer until you get it. Either that or I'll just be like, hey, they don't get it, fuck it. I'm going back to the woodland, I'm out of here. When I go to the other realm, I will have elf ears. Did you hear what I said? Oh, wait, I already have them. You just can't see them. Yes. I think I'm joking. Not really. Ooh, that is so excellent. I want to clean up my mess. That's what they told me. Yep. That's why I said, we're going down and empty the dog kennels. Yep. And we're sending them to the White House. And they are going to skid mark all over the lawn. No, I'm just joking. Unlimited. This is something Robin would do. That's for damn sure. I'm just kidding. Yeah. Winds are kicking up. That sounds so nice. I think the key here, like, and I was thinking about this after doing all that loud ass music and all this shit, is it always boils down to folk music remaining. That's why it's lasted so long. I spilled some drink. Now I'm in trouble. Yeah. That's why I need to live in the woods. Fucking spill something, you just be like, well, you know, it's on the ground. Fuck it, it'll absorb. You don't leave trash, but think about it. Like living in a way where everything is in harmony with the land. I'll show you an old school trick. See this shit? That's what we used to do when we smoked. That's where you could keep your cigarette. And then, of course, if you're holding it forward like this, no, you're not going to drip ashes on your shit. But you have to remember it's there. I don't remember her, the lady who ran the main coffee shop that I played at when I was a kid. I don't think that they allowed smoking inside. I remember they didn't. They had to smoke outside. And that was smart of her because that kept the flavor and aroma of the different teas and coffees that they would serve. But I loved that culture because it was very acclimated to creativity, writing, art. And we valued each other. Like, oh yeah, what are you working on? And people would be like, give each other compliments. Yeah, I like that. That's, you know, they felt something from it, you know, instead of being jealous of somebody else or constantly being in fucking competition. My attitude as Robin is to say, you know what, fuckers, let's all add something to the pot. What are you adding to the pot? Right? And that was always, that's central to survival, isn't it? I think so. I know so. I have sat here so long, I have figured out the base principles for most of all of this shit. So many years of just pondering, seeking, searching for the original ancient root. And saying, I will accept nothing else, and I'm walking my own path. Versus, you know, being a follower, right? And just going along with whatever the fucking alpha's philosophy is, whatever it is. Until you become your own alpha, right? So does Robin need more alphas around him or a bunch of beta tards? No. Robin needs alphas. That means they have specialization. Okay, what's that mean? All right, I'll put it in my terms. Robin would specialize in certain things, but let's say women specialize in the specific energy that Robin doesn't carry. He admires it, he loves it, but he does not hold it. See the difference? But he admires it. And that's the whole point, is upliftment of the goddess, which is central to his character. It's just that, in my opinion, it has been misconstrued through feudalism and, you know, other add-ons and other, you know, shit like that, to be shrunk down to a political character versus a divine or godlike being. But I always felt there was a vibe, there was an energy that was associated specifically with the wild man version of Robin, not the Advent, the Green Man, such as the Green Knight being an extension of that, but King of the Green Wood. What did that mean? I mean, you were a master of your environment, right? says folk than just sitting in your goddamn backyard playing and singing about how you feel. Right? I don't think anything else cuts that. Live time, right? Versus studio recorded, over processed music. To me, there's way more potency doing what I'm doing versus that, in my opinion. Because it is living. That is why a pre-record will never be as enjoyable or supreme as live music. Because there's now a human element where you hear a pre-record, but there's no human element to it now. Could there be a folk soul even in the digital world? Sure. Robin's inside the Matrix running around, lightning speed. Oh, wow. Ghost in the machine, huh? Yep. This keeps coming back to me repetitively. But I will create my own version of Robin Hood, you see, and that is the trick here, isn't it? That's the secret. I am not he who is that one, but I am he who am myself, who is an original version of that. Does that make sense? So it's a connection to the classical, but it is adding on to create an original element. But I feel it boils down to what I'm saying. The spirit of the woodland or the greenwood and the guardian of that. So the masculine and feminine principles would have different roles in leadership aspects. That does not make sense. It does to me. I'm talking traditional, right? Or powers associated therewith. One thing unique about, say, Bridget is she was a sun goddess, right? Where women were generally associated with the moon. So around the new moon, I've always felt like it's a new beginning, but sexual energy for men and women throughout the month, it will cycle, right? And this is something as a guy I think about most guys don't consider this. Women have cycles, well, so do men. But we don't get taught about that shit, you see? Generally speaking, women get lots of education in that department, understanding their cycles, generally speaking. So like every month, a woman will shed a certain amount of blood, right? Well, what makes sense is every month, a man is going to shed a certain amount of sperm. Otherwise, it becomes stagnant. You're like, oh, that's gross. Yeah, well, so's blood coming out of your crotch, but so what? I'm not going to say it's gross. That's life, right? And so even in the ancient, especially, menstrual blood would be sacred, right? Versus, oh, gross. You know what I'm saying? So during certain times, those women would stay, to themselves in their group during that, and that was a sacred time, right? So the high priestesses would help them, balance their energies. Because that's a high tide. Well, it's the same thing with men. Once you get, say, a certain amount of sperm buildup, as you get aggressive. Because because your body's saying programmed to go find a mate or whatever it is. And how mainstream works is they redirect that focus to where you are focused on base need or base drive. And let's say in a survival situation, sexuality becomes secondary. Why? Because let's say you're a woman, you're young, okay? You got to survive. And now you become pregnant and you're third term. How are you going to go anywhere? You're going to be, trapped with somebody. So whoever that guy is has to be a full captain. You're going to be in a bad situation, right? And that's where discernment comes in. Where I saw multiple divorces and how that affected people's emotions. And I said, you know what? I want to be the best version I can of a gentleman. Robin Hood exemplifies that shit. See? So that's why it makes sense. But it's fused into my life, so what do I say? A lot more than, say, most. In my opinion, is what I've seen. And I imagine that wild man and the poet, that was cool. But everything's turned into being evil and being a goddamn joke. That's not a fucking joke. Sorry, get mad. It's not a joke. Surviving in the woodland, being able to make it is not a joke. That's serious business. Avoiding predators, so on and so forth. So people start getting squirrely, when they think resources are limited. And it's not bad yet, but let's just say society starts breaking down. That's when your Robin Hood type people become really important. And they're going to be protecting their little backwoods area. It'll be like the old hillbilly way, They go up into the back hills, you might not come out. Because they don't want outsiders. And these elites are just like that. So they'll have a little private reserve for themselves. That's what I've been thinking about. So I'm just going to say what's on my mind. Where they can enjoy life and not have fear of disease and, whatever. But the rest of us are left kind of in the shit pit. And we got to deal with whatever the fuck happens, right? So Robin says, take action, right? Do what can you do versus hopelessness and you got nothing. In the woodland, you have to be able to adapt. Sounds so nice. It's peaceful. Looking up at the clouds. Okay. Before the big incident happened where I ended up in the mental hospital for 6 days. And I was just looking at the clouds and I just thought of that word nuance. Someone was using that a lot, And how it was associated with subtle differences in cloud observation, right? If you'd apply that to life, it's a sun shower right now. So it is raining and the sun is shining through. So it's kind of unusual, but I was thinking about Chris Cornell. He wrote a song called Sun Shower, right? As long as I don't put any copyrighted music on my videos, then I'll be fine. Pulled down a bunch of the goth dance videos. I was a little bummed about it, because I wanted people to have fun and do what I was doing, which was focus on being happy, man. That's why I did it. It's like, I'm tired of this depressive shit. I'm going to go back to what I did when I was younger that made me feel better. You stop doing some things as you get older. You start getting, unhappy. So I said, I have seen goths that are still goth to this day, old school. And you're like, wow, yes, it is wow. Very folkish. It was for life. It wasn't for just, dressing up and going out. Life changes and shifts, But so the next generation of goths get to enjoy life like that versus being raised in Mormonism. Imagine that. Like now you aren't raised in a Christian religion and your mother's a witch or something, and you're like, well, to me, I had friends like that. I don't know, a female friend where her mom was like that. I thought, wow. So she was next generation. She liked me, So one day, I'm not going to say what her name was. We were in like a hot tub or something. And I'm like, oh my God. So she's got her bathing suit. I'm in there just chilling on the other side of the hot tub. I wasn't going after anybody. This is how Robin was. So she starts swimming toward me in that, I'm a woman that means something type of way. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's bringing fire. I'm like, oh my God. So I'm sitting there. She was my friend too before that. But she decided that night that she would have the hots for me and she liked it. So she decided she would try to jump my boat. This was many years ago. So I just had my shorts on. She comes over and she starts trying to, do things. She's rubbing up against me. I'm like, oh God damn it, what the hell? But I had to resist. I don't know. There was something there where I just said, it didn't feel right. So I said no. And she had belly dancing in her background, so she knew how to move her hips. She was no joke. But I rejected her not because she wasn't attractive, but because the energy was off. And I knew if I allowed that, it would end in chaos. That could have easily resulted in a child because she wanted to have sex with me without a condom, right? But that's where I had to say, responsibility, where am I going to end up if I do that? Not to mention, where will the child end up? Right? Rootless, and then ultimately, where does she end up? But that's thinking from a center of like true love versus get it on. Which, when you're younger, that shit happens, whatever you're exploring. But ultimately, at my age now, I just say, what is worth the effort? Well, the only thing I can think of is true love. And if that sounds cheesy, I don't give a shit. It's a lot better than being a backstabbing fucking scumbag. Right? Serious. This is so easy to tune. I love it. It's the tuning heads. So I decided I'm just going to say how I feel. Whatever comes to mind, whenever I come on. So I want a personal connection. person that hears me will know me on a personal level versus just fucking play music and never say anything, right? So Robin would be all about personal connection, right? That's key to survival. If you don't know the intentions of people around you, then you're just going on what they say, right? You got to read the body language in the emotional information hitting you. So if you see somebody like Robin Hood, he would be reading body language and paying attention to subtle differences in behavior and attitude. It's like sitting somewhere long enough where you have observed so much that you immediately know what, say, someone traveling through your wood is all about. But if you were honest with him, he wouldn't take everything. You lied and you were a greedy scum, and he took it all. I remember that story of what was it, the guards or something? Robin sends them back to town, buck naked backwards on the horse. And they arrive in town, and imagine the look on the townspeople's faces when they strode in buck naked on the back of the horse. I'm like, oh my God. But I feel more than any other time the Robin Hood ethos, virtue, whatever, is needed, necessary. So I am that. You're like, you live this way? Yes. Yes, I do. It's a lot better than mainstream pop, empty bullshit. That's how I look at it. What connection does that have to my grandfather? Nothing. Or my grandmother, for that matter. And would she want me with some trashy woman? No. She'd be disappointed, make her sad. Just like they wouldn't want you, say, if you're a woman, with some guy that doesn't love you. That will affect you on a heart level. It will, immediately. But why are you there? If you're just there for, I'm a sex object, whether you're a woman or a man, what the hell's the point? I don't see it. That's empty. I think that's why it hurts me. Nobody wants to talk to you. They aren't feeling you. They're just your entertainment. You're watching and listening. That's voyeurism. That is not interactive. Catch? However, in the spirit realm, you could still say, okay, I don't want to send you an email, but I'll send you something on the wind. That's what would happen anyway. Ooh. Allowing myself to just kind of relax, make adjustments. But in the woodland, it's all about being efficient, right? So I'm thinking about that as I'm getting older. I'm like, you know what? I'm going full goddamn Robin Hood. What the hell? I will tell you why. What do you think I'm going to be wearing in the breakdown? Shit that will last, not just costume gear that will fucking rip and looks cheap. Hell no. original fucking leather armor. Talking to somebody that traveled with serious people, and they had those. That like you would wear. It's kind of like a leather vest underneath your armor. All right. You might, and then you might even wear chainmail over the top of that shit. Huh? So, depending. I think that's the plan. I think everyone should have like a folkish survival outfit. No, I am not joking. 100% serious. Steampunk folk. Who gives a shit? Something. God damn it. And that way, you have it set up and tiered down to where, okay, if this breaks down, then I go to this, right? Such as you're driving a vehicle, okay, and the horse or a horse you're riding. The horse goes lame. Now you can't ride the fucking horse. Well, you're gonna have to take shit off the goddamn animal and be able to carry what your essentials are with you. Or guess what? You don't have them. So I say, memorizing personal history is important. That way, no matter what, you got it. Huh? Yeah. What do you think? Well, then I invite you to send me vibes if you dare. Oh, you're like Robin's calling us out. Yep. But I mean it with love. Oh, yes. You're hiding from me. Said on send you love on the breeze. No written letter. Won't even send me an email on the breeze. No. Robin, how I am. So here you go again. Bobcat Keeper, gmailside.com. If you're gonna send me a message where you're gonna come on strong today. It's lonely out here in the breeze. Yeah. Keep the truth on the outside, say. Mm-hmm. Thank you. I shall return. Think about what I